All right, hello everybody, and welcome back to The Delusional Fan with Geraghty and McCloud. Chris Geraghty here, Ryan McCloud here, and joining us this week, our special guest and trivia champion, Alex Bruni. How you doing, Alex?
Twice, two-time trivia champion. You won't get to see it, but I'll post a picture later on Facebook.
So what he's referring to is we actually had a show last week, even though you didn't see it come out, but due to some technical difficulties, we didn't have a show last week. We actually had Alex defend his championship. Depending on the witnesses you talked to, maybe he won, maybe he didn't. We're not sure about that.
There is video though, right? Just no sound.
No sound.
So
yeah, I guess we've got the scorecard out there, so that'll be good.
Sure. Again, no proof.
This week's show.
should we talk about Fernando Valenzuela this week?
Yes. This week's show is pretty jam-packed. We're going to do a quick college football preview, focusing mostly on the Badgers and this year and how upset I am by them. And then we have, of course, our AFC, NFC North previews. We get to go over Bears, Packers stuff, which is going to be awesome.
Sure.
Top 5, and then we're going to round it out. We're all going to do our way too soon playoff and Super Bowl predictions.
You got to give them before the season starts.
Yeah.
So.
Mine will be right, but everybody else's will be way too soon. So
yeah, we've heard this before.
Let's wait until we talk about the NFC North first.
Yeah.
All right. So, but that's actually one of the good things about the screwed up show last week is I get to change my predictions now. So.
Well, right. And are you wearing purple for Teddy? For old Teddy Roosevelt?
Fucking dicks out for Teddy.
Can we throw one down for old Teddy?
Let's throw one down for
a
Teddy.
Freak injury.
I actually do feel bad for the kid.
Yeah, for those that haven't heard, non-contact, dislocated knee, torn ACL, almost lost his leg.
Did you see that the training staff, according to Zimmer, saved his leg?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Right.
They
had the trauma unit in there. Almost saved his leg. Could have lost his leg.
Dislocated. Must have just went like.
They said his femur came unattached from his shin, which I'm not a doctor. I don't pretend to be one. That sounds horrific.
I mean, it seems like it would. Just trying to picture.
It's like the worst thing I've ever heard. No contact either. So
yeah,
we'll get into that obviously with the predictions.
The non-contact ones are always the worst.
Right. You know it's always going to be.
Well, and that's what I don't understand is how on a non-contact injury did that even happen?
That's a lot of force to break your.
It is, and that's
femur
actually
from
what's scary. You know, I'm out there playing basketball or playing spike ball, and I'm thinking about these things now. It's like if I plant wrong, am I gonna rupture an Achilles or?
And that's the thing is Teddy's
blow my knee
Teddy's
out?
what 24.
Yeah.
In prime physical state.
Let's save this for our preview. Okay, so let's get into Badger football.
We got a big game coming up this week.
Yeah, this Saturday.
Purple.
Coming up here.
There is
LSU.
There's purple, and yellow too.
This isn't purple. This is magic.
Yeah.
I see purple and yellow.
All right, you're right though. Go ahead.
Badger football coming up. LSU this weekend. Lambeau Field. Second priciest ticket of the season. Boy, that's fantastic.
What's first?
First was going to be Texas and Notre Dame.
The
prices are averaging out at over $400 a ticket.
I'm upset with that I don't have access to that.
My boss is going. Trevor's going with his dad.
Oh, that's cool.
Mm-hmm. Okay, our boss told me like a week or two ago. He's like, "Yeah, I had tickets to the game. I sold them." Yeah, right. You jerk.
So, Badgers finally, Paul Chryst decided on a starting quarterback, and it's not Alex Hornibrook. Do we even need to go any further? Now, this is from an expert, expert like myself, who saw both quarterbacks play for at least 15 minutes one day. Okay?
Sure. Oh yeah.
I did, seriously. Hornibrook looked like he just looked like a future pro.
They got to stop throwing in every senior quarterback they have and just hoping it's going to work. Give a guy some playing time and some time to develop, and let's have another 3-year starter
now
instead of we started off by renting Russell Wilson and now we're throwing in everybody we have.
If I had to agree with Chris a little bit, it's only because I would rather Bart Houston get beat up in the schedule we have this year. Because let me go over the Badgers schedule.
You have
real
that
quick.
trial by fire, though.
Just hold on, though. Yeah, maybe the Akron and Georgia State game, but so they start out with LSU, which LSU has probably one of the best defenses in the country. Some of the best talent in the country. They have Leonard Fournette. I mean, just a great team.
That's going to be
biggest. So we're going to be relying on Houston, and Clement to score for us.
That's going to be a slaughter, I think.
Then they've got some, there's typical garbage games, Akron and Georgia State. Now, this is the craziest part of the Badgers schedule. They're at Michigan State and at Michigan back-to-back. Just insane. Ohio State comes to Camp Randall, and then they're at Iowa. So at Michigan State, at Michigan, Ohio State, then at Iowa. Yeah. And then they still got to play Nebraska at home and then Northwestern on the road.
That's the Big Ten, though. You play those teams.
You don't, though. They normally don't play.
It's not, and that's really
I forget. There's like 36 teams in the Big Ten now. So.
right. I think they'll have an average season because of that, though. Yeah. I think they have average? An average team.
Like 9-3, 9-4. I forget how many games they play, but
I think that they're going to be a 12 games. I think they'll be a 7 to 8 win team. I'm hoping they can squeeze out a couple upsets and get to 10, but
so they're going to be like the Beef O'Brady Bowl again or whatever.
Yeah, right, exactly.
I have a hard time finding if I'm looking at this, and I'm just going. At the most, I'll give them 7 wins. I don't think they're going to beat Michigan State or Michigan in Michigan. I don't think they're going to beat.
They're not going to beat Ohio State. And I give them 8 wins if they beat Iowa at Iowa. Yeah.
It's tough for me. They have Nebraska and Northwestern. Northwestern always plays the Badger stuff and has beaten them a couple times in the last few years. Illinois sucks. Purdue sucks. Minnesota sucks. That's tough. It's a tough call for me. I'm expecting a down year for the Badgers.
I think everybody is. I think you'd be getting ahead of yourself to think that
which is why they're going to win 9 games.
That they'll have a 10 or double-digit win season. I don't see it happening.
Let's all quick do this then. Your 9-game prediction. I'm interested. So I'm going to go game by game with you. Okay. LSU and Green Bay.
Green Bay. No, LSU's going to slaughter them.
Okay, so Akron and Georgia State we're counting as wins, so 2-1. Michigan State at Michigan State.
They're not going to win that.
2-2. Michigan at Michigan.
They could.
It's a yes or no.
Can I give a half?
No.
Tie.
No.
They're going to win that.
3-2. Ohio State and Camp Randall.
Yep.
Did I hear that correctly?
Mm-hmm. You said Ohio State and Camp Randall. You just said yup. What is that? That's a win?
That's a win. Okay. 4-2. Iowa at Iowa.
Nope.
Wow. They won't beat Iowa, but they'll beat Ohio State, probably the second, third best team in the country.
Right.
I pretty much hate Ohio State more than any other sports organization in the world, so I'm gonna
4-3 on that. So 4-3.
I am the Homer trivia champ, so I got to be a Homer.
4-3 Nebraska, Camp Randall.
Yeah.
5-3 Northwestern at Northwestern.
Nope.
5-4. Then Illinois, Purdue, Minnesota. You assume they win all those?
Sure.
Well, that's 8. 8-4 you've got them at.
That's good enough for me.
Again, I have them at 8 to 9 wins. That sounds about right. They can steal a game or two from there and get to 9 or 10 wins.
I think I've learned over the last 28 years of being a Badger fan is I never know what they're going to do. I think they're going to have a terrible year and they're going to do fine. I think they're going to have a great year and they shit the bed. And
I think that's fair. That's what they do.
Plus, full disclosure, I haven't watched a full Badger game in like 2 years.
Okay.
Because I work every Saturday, so I get to see bits and pieces. And
Look, the defense carried the team the last few years. And they've been a top 5 defense for the last 4 or 5 years. Literally ranked in the top 5. They were number 1 in scoring defense the last couple of years. They lost their leader with Aranda going to LSU, and so we'll see you on Saturday.
And they lost some pretty big impact seniors too.
Absolutely, and again, so yes, it's a down year. I think the core of the defense, they still are returning 7 guys next
not
year.
Not so bad. In the NFL.
Who's that?
McAvoy is a wide receiver. He's not so bad. Tanner.
Oh, he was just never a good quarterback. He was a solid safety and a solid wide receiver, running back. Here's the biggest thing for me. I've never seen them struggle in the run game like they did last year. Period. You could always count on that offensive line and a running back giving you a top 10 run offense at least. I've never seen them get pushed around like they did last year, and that's from somebody who does watch every single game, every single week.
I kind of feel though that was sort of left over from Anderson because he came in. He admittedly wanted to change the culture of Badger football.
Sure,
he didn't want to do the slam in your face, run it down your throat type of thing, and he tried to transition more to the speeds guys.
Yeah,
right.
But it didn't work. So you got speed guys. So he left. Chris comes back, tries to do the Badger way.
Yep.
But we don't have the guys for that. so they get pushed around.
Right, and he's obviously had one recruiting class under his belt now. I think I think they'll start to get back to that. This is going to be a down year. We can leave it at that. It's going to be a down year.
9 wins is not a down year.
And that's what I'm saying, and that's what I mean. At least that's what I want to get. The point I want to get across is that a down year for them at this point is 8 to 9 wins.
That's because
they're
we
usually
expect
10
so much out of them.
to 12 wins. And while you are harping on the fact that they don't win a national championship, which trust me, I'm there with you. I do get what you're saying. I want them to do that too.
I see,
but I'm always going to take consistency in double-digit wins and solid bowl games over being a Northwestern or a Penn State that had, and I'm just using these as examples, that have down years and down stretches for years. They go on without winning anything.
To be fair,
of
Penn
substance.
State won the national championship.
Right.
You know, they got to the top, and I feel like if J.J. Watt would have stayed around for another year with Russell Wilson at quarterback,
There's no question. They would have been a top 5 team without a doubt.
they could have won the championship.
There's no question.
2 plays away
They were
right, and so if
2
they
Hail
come
Marys
back for
away.
another year, there's no question.
from competing in the
Look,
national
I'm using that as an example. I can use Michigan right now. Michigan's one is the winningest team in college football, right? I can use them as an example. We have not had a really down stretch in 20 plus years. Period. Can you guys deny that?
Yeah,
No,
I'm talking double 9 to 10 wins, if not more, every single year.
Listen.
You won a national title, I get that, but I'm talking they've been consistently good for 20 plus years.
without winning a
over having
national
down stretch.
championship.
Yes.
I want a national championship.
I do too.
And we can't win one playing the football we play now.
I do too. But
we don't get the recruits LSU and Alabama
Would you
get.
trade one national title for 10 years of inconsistency and then 40 years of good football and
yes.
one national title?
Yes.
Oh God, yeah.
100% yes.
All right, so
I
let's think about this in terms of the Packers.
Yeah.
Let's say the Packers go 11-5 this year.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say they win a wild card or they get a bye, they lose in the divisional round.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about that?
I don't like it, but I'm
See, because
It's not the same.
It's not the same to me.
But we
have
all right,
sprinkled championships.
taking away that Super Bowl,
Yeah.
we've been above average for so many years.
Yeah.
Don't you get bored with being above average?
You
wanna win a championship,
when we don't
you
win
know?
a championship. Okay, and so again, I understand. Look,
I mean, I think the Badgers are like going 10-6 every year, losing the wild card game.
I hold the Badgers.
They're the Bengals.
I hold the Badgers to a different
Exactly.
standard than I do the Packers. I just do. I'm not going to apologize for it, and I won't sit here and try to convince you guys as to why. All I can tell you is, I want Rose Bowls or national titles. That's what I want. We went to 3 straight. We didn't win one, and so I have a bigger problem with that than I do with anything. For us to go to 3 but you can't deny the success that we've had. I want to continue that. And of course, if we can win one fluke year and win a national title, look, we're not Ohio State. We're not Michigan. We're not Florida. We're not any of those teams.
We could be any of those.
But I don't know if we can.
To be fair,
don't
we're
get the
better than those
talent.
teams.
We never have.
The Badgers in the last 15 years have the best record of any team in the Big Ten. There's that consistency.
That's the consistency.
But they're not winning the championships.
No, but that is the
But
consistency.
here, but hold on, listen.
that allows you to say that, is all I'm saying.
We don't hire proper coaches either. Ohio State went out and got Urban Meyer. Michigan went out and got Jim Harbaugh.
Right.
And Jim Harbaugh hasn't won anything yet, but look how highly they're ranked. Look how much look how well he turned that team around in 1 year with somebody else's guys.
Well, he should still
There
be
are
the
coaches that
49ers
make a
coach.
difference, and Paul Christ is not going to make a difference.
Give Chris,
not.
Give Chris a few years.
I'll give
Just
Chris
him a
10
few
years and we don't have a national championship.
They could have said the same thing though when Urban Meyer was at
Chris,
BYU or whatever.
If we win 3 Rose Bowls in 10 years, would you be okay with that?
No.
I am.
I've seen all the Rose Bowls. I've seen the Heisman Trophy
care.
winner. I've seen it all. I'm done with it.
Right.
I want a national championship. I'm done with
And
it.
again, I understand. I bitched at my dad about this, and I feel like I'm almost speaking for him, but I understand the concept that we aren't those teams. We aren't one of those premier teams.
But
That's
we
really what
could
it comes
be.
down
We
to.
should be.
We're
That's
gonna-
how
I
I
don't
feel.
know if we can be or we should be.
All right.
I don't know.
We're gonna move on, and then real quick, I want quick predictions. You're saying blowout this weekend. What score-wise? What are you thinking?
I will give, let's say, 41-17.
And you're saying LSU
Yeah,
41, Badgers. Oof.
31-25 Badger win. They're going to
close.
upset this
Okay, we
weekend.
got a homer
They're gonna
call.
upset this
But,
weekend.
it's Lambeau.
It's week 1 in a neutral stadium. We have the home
Calling
advantage.
any week 1 game is just it's a crapshoot.
I am more afraid-
It's going to be closer than what you predicted. We might not win, but it's going to be closer than that.
I'm more afraid of Michigan State, Ohio State, and Michigan than I am of LSU for a couple reasons. One, Leonard Fournette's been hurt and in a walking boot, and I know that they're trying to downplay that in the SEC media, but he's been in a walking boot and hasn't practiced. B, their quarterback, hasn't thrown a pass yet in college football.
Neither did Cardale Jones last year, though.
Correct, and now Cardale is never going to see the field in the NFL.
But
anyways, what I'm saying is I actually am going to give the Badgers much more of a chance than you're going to give them. I'm kind of on board with what you're saying. I think it's going to be a low-scoring bore fest for most of the game. I've got LSU winning 17, and I think there's going to be some stupid two-point conversion, 15 Badgers. I think the Badgers are going to get 15 late, try and get down for field goal, so my favorite player of all time, fat guy field goal, can try and win us the game. We're not sure it's going to happen. So I hate saying it, but I think it's going to be. I don't think either team gets it.
I will give it this, though. I think it'll be close for.
I'll go 21.
I think it'll at least be close for the first half, maybe three quarters.
21.
But I think LSU will pull off at the end.
Okay, I'm just going to give a quick top five. The AP top 25 this year, but I'll give you the top five: Alabama, Clemson, Oklahoma, Florida State, LSU, who we are playing on Saturday. If you had to pick one of those top five, or if you had to pick two out of the top five to go to the playoff this year, who do you want? Alabama, Clemson, Oklahoma, Florida State, LSU.
I would take Alabama in a heartbeat.
I think we're all in agreement Alabama's going to make the Final Four.
Just because it's Alabama,
Final Four is going to be Ohio State, Alabama, TCU, Florida State.
You think TCU's going to sneak in,
yes,
huh?
I do. Yep.
TCU's 13th to start the season.
I do. They're a trendy pick. But I do like that team. I think in that conference, I like what they can do there.
I think Clemson has the best player in college football, and he carries them to a title this year. He should have beat Alabama last year. Didn't have maybe the juniors and seniors to help him out. He's going to have them this year. I think Clemson wins it. So I think Alabama, Clemson I think Clemson for sure makes the Final Four. I think Florida State has a really good team, and they're going to make the Final Four this year. I actually think Alabama might not sneak in, not because they're not a great team, because I think they are, but they're another team that has a brutal
SEC
schedule this year.
But then they win the games, and it works that much more towards them.
Right.
You know?
Right.
I mean, they got USC, then they play Ole Miss. Oh, no, hold on. Let me go to... I'm sorry. I'll take some extra time here. Yeah,
let's make it a quick
What are we looking at?
Right. I was going to look at Alabama's schedule this year.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Look, they play the SEC. That's they're going to play all SEC.
I was looking at their
teams for
schedule
the majority
earlier.
of the schedule.
Oh, there it is.
They've got LSU, Texas A&M. They've got Florida.
Okay, here's their particularly brutal schedule in my opinion. So USC to start out, Kentucky's a win, but they're at Ole Miss, which is going to be a tough game. Ole Miss might have one of the best quarterbacks in college football.
I think you're just an Ole Miss homer now.
Then 2 wins, Kent State, Kentucky. They're at Arkansas, and even much as I hate Fat Belima,
I'm not worried about Arkansas.
Arkansas has, you know what, they have good athletes on the team. At number 9, Tennessee.
I'm not worried about them.
Versus Texas A&M, they're not going to matter, but then they're at LSU. So these are at Ole Miss, at Arkansas, at LSU, and then they're versus Auburn late, but Auburn isn't going to be very good this year. So they have 3 real tough games. If they lose 2 of those, they're not making the Final Four.
No.
So, and I think they could very well lose 2 of those games because again, don't have a quarterback. So, but Nick Saban's done more with less. So
right. He's just one of those people you never count out.
Yeah. Let us know what you think about the game. I will have this out for you right away, so give us your predictions on social media about the Badgers and LSU this weekend and what you think about the Final Four for college football this year. We will get into a little bit more college football as the season goes on, and as I'm disappointed that Hornibrook is not playing. When we come back, well, we've all been waiting for AFC, NFC North previews.
It's going to be a slobber knocker.
It's going to be a slobber knocker as always, and we have had, obviously, we started out this segment with it, a treacherous injury to a very good player. One of us thinks he's better than the other, but we'll go over that when we come back.
Fuck him, Bucky.